Hi, this is part 2 of the National 5 volume, and again it's non-calculator. Today's lesson we're going to look at SQA exam questions. So here's your first question here. The diagram below represents a sphere. The sphere has a diameter of 6 centimeters. Calculate its volume. This is non-calculator, remember, and they're telling you to take pi to be 3.14. So what you need to do actually is you need to look at your formula sheet. So I'm just going to pop that in for you actually. Okay, so there's your formula in there now. So choose the appropriate formula, pause the video, and off you go. Okay, and here's your second SQA exam question. A tin of tuna is in the shape of a cylinder. It has diameter 10 centimetres and height of 4 centimetres. Both those measurements are on the picture. Calculate its volume. Again, this is non-calculator, so it's telling you to take pi to be 3.14. Again, you'll need your formulas. And there's your formulas there. Okay, so choose the appropriate one and off you go. Okay, here's question number 3. The diagram shows a cone. The height is 12 centimetres and the radius of the base is 10 centimetres. Calculate the volume of the cone. Again, look, because it's non-calculator, they're telling you to use pi as 3.14. Okay, and here we have the formulas have just popped up. So again, choose the appropriate formula and off you go. Click pause and work it out. And last exam question that we're going to look at today, we have a square base pyramid. The square base has a length of 6 centimetres. The volume is 138 cubic centimetres. Calculate the height of the pyramid. Again, you'll need your formulas. Okay, so choose the appropriate formula and off you go. Okay, I'm going to go over how to work these out now. So what we got here is sphere. Okay, so I can see over here in the formulas, volume of a sphere, V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so first thing you need to get right is writing down that formula correctly. It's amazing how many people don't put the cubed on. Okay. So 3.14 for pi, and the radius, if the diameter is 6, and that means the radius is half. Okay, right, so what do we have here? Everything's multiplied, but we've got this power as well. So remember, we're going to have to use BODMAS or BIDMAS. Okay, where we have order or indices, depending on what your teacher calls it. This bit here, the 3 cubed, where the 3 is your index or your order, okay? So first thing to work out there, because these come before the multiply, is the answer to 3 cubed. Remember, 3 cubed means 1, 2, 3 of them being multiplied together. 3 3s make 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, right, so what have we got here? We've got 4/3 of something. I can't divide 3.14 by 3. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to work with this third part and the 27. That's the easiest bit to start with. So a third of 27. A third of 27. How many 3s are in 27? 9. Okay, alright, I'm just going to tidy up my page. There's quite a bit of working out that we have to do for these ones, you see, okay? So, right, what have we got first? 3.14 times 4, okay? If you've watched the other video, you'll see that I quite like to do times in my 4 as doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling again. So if you double it, you get 6.28, and If you double it again, you get 12.56. Okay. Old-fashioned way, 4 4s make 16. 4 1 is 4. Add on the 1 is 5. 4 3s make 12. So that was the first bit that I've just worked out. Okay, I've just worked out 4 times 3.14. So that comes out at 12.56, but I still need to multiply that by 9. Okay, so again, I'm going to have a wee bit of a tidy up. I'm running out of room again. Okay, it is normal to have this much working out for one of these, okay? So you are doing National 5, so make sure that you write down what you're doing, okay, to make sure that you get your marks for these, okay? Right, so 9 times 5 is 54. 9 times 6 is 54 rather. 9 times 5 is 45, add the 5 is 50. 9 times 2 is 18, add the 5, 23. 9 times 1 is 9, add the 2 is 11. So my final answer is 113.04. Needs something a bit more. Do you know what it needs? If I look at what I was given 6 centimetres, and I'm being asked to calculate the volume. So the centimetres is part of what I need. Okay, now volume is how many cubes you can fit inside a shape. So we will have the cube symbol there. Okay. Now this slide here shows you where you get your marks for this. Oh my goodness, it was only a 2-mark question. Okay, so your first mark, okay, so you see it's got bullet number 1, okay. Substitute correctly into the formula for the volume of a sphere. So here we have volume 4/3 times your 3.14 and your 3 cubed, okay? So 1 mark for that, just for getting that bit right. And then your second mark, your correct calculation, so that's getting your 113.04. Okay. It's worth having a wee look down at the notes to see what you could get marks for if you've made a mistake somewhere. So it says the second mark, right? So that's if you've made a mistake on your substitution, you can still get the second mark. The second mark is for a calculation involving a fraction, 3.14 and a power. Okay, so as long as you got your fraction, your 3.14 and your power in, see this one here, somebody's put the squared instead of the cubed. Quite a common problem, okay? So if you accidentally do your substitution wrong, but you get this bit right, you can still get 1 mark out of 2. Okay, here's the tuna question. So this one's actually quite sneaky because it is a cylinder, and at National 5 you'll notice that if you look at the formulas there is no cylinder, right? Because the volume of a cylinder is actually National 4. At this level here though, you can see that it's National 5 because you're doing it non-calculator, okay? So you have to remember what the volume of a cylinder is. Now, obviously, I've done it so many times that I remember that it's pi times the radius squared times h. Okay, now cylinder starts with a C and cone starts with the letter C. So here's a wee trick that I sometimes teach my classes. Volume of a cone is almost got the same formula. It's almost got the same formula as the cylinder, okay? The cone, the only difference between the cone formula and the cylinder formula is there's no third, okay? So if you forget your cylinder one, look at your cone, take the third off, and there's your cylinder one there. Right, that's my wee cheat for that. So what do we have to do? 3.14, what's the radius? Well, the diameter is 10. The radius will be half that then, because the radius is just from the centre to the edge, so that'll be 5. 5 squared times the height is 4. Okay. 3.14, again, use BODMAS. If you're using BODMAS, you've got to work out your 5 squared first. Okay, now we're at the point of what would be the easiest thing to do here. 3.14 times 25, No thank you. 3.14 times 4. Yeah, I could do that. I'm still going to have to multiply by that 25. So is there something that I could do here to make this a little bit easier? Right, and there is. The thing to notice here, remember what I tell you, maths people are good at seeing the easiest way. So just have a think about the different combinations. 25 times 4 is 100. Man, multiplying by 100 is much easier by having to multiply by 25. Okay, so multiply by 100, move all the digits over 2 places. The units, we have got centimetres here, centimetres here. We're working out a volume, so this will be cubic centimetres. Okay, this slide here shows what you get the marks for again. So we have got number 1 is for doing the substitution correctly. 3.14 times the 5 squared times the 4, okay? So you get a mark just for writing this bit out here. Number 2, get your correct answer. Okay, 314 centimetres cubed. Okay, notes. The second mark is available for a multiplication involving 3.14 and squaring. So remember, this is where they're saying to you that if you've made a mistake in number 1, you can still get your mark for number 2. So if we look at what this person's done here, instead of using 5 squared, they've actually done 10 squared, okay? So they would lose the first mark because they've got 10 instead of 5, but they have correctly worked out the answer to the sum. Okay, so they can still get 1 out of 2. Okay, here's your one with the cone. Okay, so I've just popped in the formulas for you again. Oh, here we go. Volume of a cone is there. So we're going to use that formula there. Okay, so first top tip, make sure you write it down correctly. 1/3 times pi times the radius squared times h. Okay, 1/3 times pi times the radius. Radius is 10. 10 squared times h, the height is 12, times 12. Okay, right, apply BODMAS. Apply BODMAS by doing 10 squared before you do any of your multiplying. 1/3, 3.14, 10 squared, 10 times 10, right? It's not 10 times 2, it's 10 times 10. Okay, so that bit's there. Right, the nasty bit, the fraction. What can I find 1/3 of? 1/3 of 3.14? Nope. 1/3 of 100? Nope, 100 is not in the 3 times table. 1/3 of 12, yes. I can do that bit. 1/3 of 12 is 4. Okay, so we just got multiplies, remember? So it doesn't matter what order you do it in. The bit that I can see there that I would like to do next is this bit. Okay, because I know that if I do 3.14 times 100, it will give me a whole number. 4 times 314. Okay. Again, it doesn't matter what order you do it in. You might have done it in a different order to me, right? And that's absolutely fine. 4 4s are 16, 4 1s are 4, add the 1, 4 3s are 12. We keep seeing this multiply by 4 over and over, don't we? Right, and double it. And double it again. So we get 1, 2, 5, 6. What units are we going to have? Centimetres there. Centimetres there. So our answer will have cubic centimetres. Okay. Okay, and again, here is our exam solutions. And you'll notice the same as the other ones. Your first mark, substituting correctly. And your second mark for doing all your working out and getting your correct answer there. Okay, so again, just a 2-mark question there. Okay, so the pyramids question. So we have got a square base pyramid. It's got a square base with 6 square base as well. The volume is 138 cubic centimeters. Volume of a pyramid. Okay, so volume equals 1/3 times A for area and then the height. Okay, now the A for area is the area of the base. Okay, the A is for the area of your base. Now the base here is a 6x6 square. A 6x6 square gives us an area of 36, and that would be square centimeters, but it's 36. Okay, so 1/3 times 36 times, what's the height? Doesn't tell us the height. Okay, so it's the height that we're trying to calculate. Right, I am trying to calculate that height. Right, I better have a wee think about that then. So there must be something I haven't used yet. So let's have a look. The square base, yeah, I used that bit of information to get a 36. The volume is 138. Oh, I ticked it, but I haven't used it. The volume's 138. So under V for volume, I'm going to write 138. Okay, so this is one where we need to do a wee bit of rejigging before we can get this. Okay. So I'm just having a wee think. What am I going to do first for this? Right, I'm thinking that finding 1/3 of 36, I could do that. All right, so that means my working out is going to be 138 equals 1/3 of 36. 36 shared by 3. Now that makes 12. And I still don't know what the H is. Okay, now 12 times something makes 138. All right. Oh, non-calculator, my dears, non-calculator, right? The opposite of timesing by 12 is to divide by 12 or to share by 12. Okay, so we need to work out 138 shared by 12. Now, some of you might well write it like that, okay? Which is absolutely fine. Now, that's how we would expect you to write it if you're going to carry on to do higher. Just going to tidy up my slide a bit. Okay, now there's lots and lots of different ways where you could work out 138 divided by 12. Now, I know that 12 times 10 is 120. I know that 12 times 11 is 132. We're trying to make 138. 12 times 12 is 144. That's too big. Right, that's gone too far. So it's going to be something to do with this one here. Right, now there's going to be a remainder of 6. Right, so we're trying to make 138. We can get 132 from doing 12 times 11. That leaves us with 6. 12 times what makes 6? How many 12s make 6? Right, it's a half. A half times 12, remember? It's the same as a half of 12 makes 6, right? So if we combine these two answers, 11.5, okay? 138 divided by 12 makes 11.5, what is it, centimetres for our height, okay? I'm going to try doing that another way as well, okay? This time, I'm going to use this bit here, okay? 138 divided by 12, and I'll try and simplify it down a little bit. So the first thing that I notice is that both the numbers there are multiples of 2. So 2 times 69, 2 times 6. Divide the top and the bottom by 2, and you get 69 over 6. Okay, now next thing I notice is that 3 goes into both of those. 3 times 23 and 3 times 2. Divide them both by 3. And I've got 23 divided by 2. Okay, now to finish it off, 2 goes into 22. 2 goes into 22 11 times, and there's a remainder of 1. Now be careful to write your remainder 1 as 11.5. Okay, so that gives you an alternative way to work that one out. 11.5 centimetres for your height. Okay, let's have a look at how they do the mark scheme for this one. Okay, so here we have start the substitution. Okay, so 1/3 times the 6 squared times the h. Okay, so if you were to write that down, you would get 1 mark. If you write down the formula equal in 138, you get 1 mark. Now you get a second mark if you write down that your formula is equal to 138. Okay, so you get 2 marks just for substituting the numbers incorrectly. And then the hard bit, the 11.5, you get your final mark for getting that 11.5 correct there. Okay, and that's the end of today's lesson, so hopefully that helps you out with your non-calculator volumes.